Always happy to be here in Portugal for the 10th stop of the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour, the Moche Rip Curl Pro. Now into round one, heat number 10, featuring former Rookie of the Year Nat Young, former event champion Otton and Glenn Hall, coming back to tour after a tough back injury that he suffered in his debut to the top 34. Came back, was the first injury replacement last season. Now getting the full wild card for a complete year and doing some coaching along the way.
The cuisine, the wine, and it's the people that make the place, Joe. Nat Young on his opening ride, just pulling into a closeout tube right there, so not much on offer for him, but very rare that you get skunked here, and you know, definitely one of my favorite stops on tour.
Looking at Nat Young and Otton, they also have Glenn Hall, but Nat and Kai have so many matchups together and coming up just short. It was a tough one for him to walk away from. Now watching a backhand tube effort from Otton, still traveling on a small wave, trying to force the exit, and he'll end up going down.
Yeah, not one to give up, is he?
Had a different headspace in the early stages of his tour life, now feeling a lot happier these days.
Yeah, you know, you sort of get used to it, and you work out your travel plans. You know, you got everything sorted, there's no glitches, there's no surprises.
Waves on the way. Micro's the one with priority. Wearing the red jersey is the Californian. Nat Young looks like he's in a better position. Nat, set up snap, the bottom's going to drop out, he stomps it. Quick backhand snap on the inside corner, ditches the fins, but he'll run out a wave on the inside and falls on the finish. Now Micro in position. Straight up vert. Bottom drops out. Quick check off that inside corner, and he'll just switch it up on the inside. So two quick scores to lock in.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Micro's theory worked with Matty Wilco. Let's see if Glenn can reproduce that kind of form. Does he listen to his own advice? Snap, let's have a look at Nat's first. Straight into it there, powerful little drop right there. Another nice turn, and then doesn't quite finish this one off. Needed to ride out of that for it to be a complete ride. Micro draws down off the bottom. Nice vertical upside down maneuver. Little snap there again. So very similar waves there for Nat Young and Glenn Hall. So nothing too crazy. Plenty of time remaining though.
Nat with now a left-hander setting up. Already has the speed. Goes for the air. Tail high reverse. And he can't land it. Going down on a little aerial attempt. Little right-hander for Glenn Hall now. Clean bottom turn. Snap off the lip. Trying to get down the line for another little finishing move. And that wave's going to shut down. Glenn had the 3.83 before. Now Nat once again. Snaps off the lip. Blows the tail out on the second turn. Little open face slash and he's out. So that wave really gets small on the inside. Starts off nice and solid. Like Kai, like Glenn Hall, we're in attendance to thank CJ for what he's done in his career. Let's check out last and Nat Young here.
Yeah, watch how hard he pushes on that tail there. He almost blows his foot off the board as Nat brings this one through. So this is going to probably be the best score of the heat at the moment. And it is a 4.60 for Nat Young. Glenn Hall with a 3.83 and a 1.67. Kai very quiet at the moment. And he's just waiting for those bigger set waves. He knows something's coming. He can smell it. Sitting patiently with 18.5 to go, so plenty of time remaining.
It's one of those parts of the world where you can actually smell it if the waves are good and offshore. It smells like sardines at times as you watch this left setting up for Glenn Hall. Pulls in, traveling for a while. He'll end up getting clamped. So his third attempt so far. Glenn's down to 18 minutes to get through this matchup. Glenn was talking about his coaching role these days. Coaching follows through the game plan and gets the win over some of his heat wins. This is Kai, moves his stance forward. Quick little head dip, and he'll end up going down.
Yeah, you know, talk about that pressure. Once you've been sitting around for quite some time, you know, you almost feel like you've got to go. Then you make the wrong choice on waves, and it can really play with your mind. So you've got to be careful not to wait too long out here. It's a kind of wave where you've got to kind of get the ball rolling early, get those waves under your belt. A little bit of lump and bump. You've got to find those corners.
As we now catch up to the tube ride of Nat Young. Back to live action quickly after that flashback from 2013. Nat already had some decent scores, and now a better one for Kai. Nice and deep. Micro down the line with priority. Will take off for the rest of it, and he pops out. Glenn now looks for a finish, a big layback hook. Two sections colliding will take away that finish. But what an interesting moment. Nat getting the first one all to himself. Kai locked in nice and deep, but Glenn was like, well, it's my turn. I better get involved here.
You know, and it's not, it's part of the game. I mean, he's got priority, you're allowed to do that. It's a tactical move for sure. Realizing Kai probably was in a better spot, but
going down, it looks like he probably wanted to have first priority rewarded to him as we look at the replay.
Yeah, so Kai pulls in and just a little bit too deep there. Micro says, you know what, I've got to take this wave. Just in case Kai comes out, it's going to be a massive score. So good tactical move there from Glenn Hall. Nat Young, though, got the pick of the bunch when it comes to the waves in that last exchange.
And now checking out a backhand tube for Nat. He'll get sucked over the falls. But you can see Kai on his face clearly wanted to have priority. Well, now he has it.
Yeah, this is probably the best wave right here. Driving through that section there. It wasn't a clean exit, but nevertheless it was an exit, and the judges are going to like it. You know, they love it when you drive through the section, Joe. If you've got to slow down and, you know, put your arm in and try and manufacture that tube right, I think they like it better when you go flying into it and come out with speed, driving through those sections, which is exactly what he did. 8 points for that. So Nat Young in the lead now. Glenn Hall, 7.94, Kai Otton.
Looks like he's committing to his backhand here. Setting up his first move. Ditches the fins, he'll be hung up, and he goes down.
That's the danger of the low tide right there, Joe. You kind of, do you give it everything off the top? Because if you do, it's going to be a late drop coming into that next section. So it's a real fine line. You've got to find those ones that slow up, which there's not too many of.
Here, Kai trying to break the combo. Micro needing a 7.94 here.
Yeah, Micro up and riding here. Just it's more of a speed line, this one here. Didn't really get that board all the way around, so kind of half turns to kick things off and then finish nicely. So he's looking for something big though, Joe, almost up into that excellent range, as is Kai. Kai is in a combo situation, needs to get himself out of that. A couple of nice turns here from Kai. That's better, getting that board all the way back around. Impressive stuff there. So Nat Young as well got another wave. Nat needing to back up that 8.0 on his backhand, using his backhand as his weapon of choice. Nice and vertical right there, ditching the fins on that last turn. So a couple of quick waves there while we're at that recap, and Nat Young still with the lead though. Glenn Hall needing a score up in that close to excellent range.
Kai with just a couple of ones to his name, but he's staying active right out front. Has the speed to start. Layback carve to tail release. Nice opening maneuver for Otton. Little chip on the inside corner to ditch the fins. Corners so quickly, but he fits in the finish. Now Micro. Full carve. He'll slide out. The bottom drops out and he's down. Scores coming in for last of Micro, close to that 4.67 he had before. Kai's best will be locking in. 8:35 remaining here in round one, heat number 10. Back to his win before, but he's also made the final series last year as well to back it up and really making this his pet event on tour. If you check out the heat recap from heat number 10, Nat Young got busy on his back end and got this left to go wide open. Snuck out for the finish to get the 8-point ride, and he's had the lead ever since. Glenn's been chipping away on these inside lefts, getting a couple of frontside hooks in. Still in the 4 range and needs a 7.74 to take the lead.
Yeah, you know what, it's going to take that kind of wave. I mean, these guys have been surfing good. You can see how sharp Kai Otton is. You can see how sharp Glenn Micro Hall is. It's just one of those things, the wave can dictate everything. It's not a bad thing. I think those slow builders hang around a little longer.
Now a little left down the beach for Kai. All just speed work. Now going for the slob punt. He's down. So going for broke on that inside corner. Every once in a while you'll see Kai go above the lip to throw down an aerial. Beat for a few months as we look at Nat Young up now. Pulling in nice and deep, but that one will shut him down. 2:30 to go. Nat trying to protect his lead because he's still carrying a 4.6 in his top two. Now it's Glenn's turn. Getting a lot of board speed up. Good section to work with. Highline wrap. He'll fight his way through it, looking for something big on the finish. Winds up for the reverse, and he's down.
Yeah, Micro just fighting that one.
A pretty good contest that they have going underway. This is Kai now. One pumped to set the line. He had a lot of speed and guts out front for the layback jam. Going for the tube to hat combination. Needed a 7.54. He had a ton of speed from the takeoff pots.
Was it deep enough? Maybe he had a little bit too much speed. You can always tell by Kai's facial expressions, his body language. You know exactly how he's feeling. You can see him thinking, yeah, nah, that wasn't enough. 7.54, I beg your pardon. So pretty solid score required. Let's have a look at the replay here. Kai takes off, drives into that section there. Yeah, it didn't quite disappear long enough, I don't think. Nice finish, though. So Kai Otton will find himself in round 2, Joe.
So an exciting matchup, an all goofy foot battle. Nat and Kai have had a final out here in the past. Then throwing in Glenn Micro Hall, a guy who has amazing skills to find the best waves in matchups. This time Glenn was chipping away at that left. Ended up in the 4 range. Nat's out of the lineup now. Nat had the 8.0, then a 4.6. He struggled to improve on that backup score with left the door open. Kai didn't get too deep on that barrel, so it comes in at a 5.27. Not enough. Nat takes the big win, skips into round 3, and Kai and Micro will be reseated as we continue in round 2.